Starting. Hello, everyone. My name is Antonio Watson, and today I'm going to be talking about should they keep critical race theory in K through 12. This is my audience right here, people. Bam, bam. Everybody wave their hands so they can show that you're real. All right. Yep. We got everybody. All right. Give me 1 second. Uh, Good evening. My name is Antonio Watson. Imagine growing up in a country where you learn about the founding fathers, presidents, major wars, but rarely hear about the countless men and women from different racial and cultural backgrounds who helped build America. How can students fully understand the nation they live in if they are only taught part of its story? Today, states across the country are debating whether discussions about race should be limited in K through 12 classrooms. As these debates continue, many students are growing up without learning the full history of the people who helped shape this nation. We live in one of the most diverse countries in the world, yet some students are only exposed to a small part of America's story. History belongs to us all, and every student deserves the opportunity to learn about the contributions, struggles, achievements of all people who helped build this country. Tonight, I will explain why it's important for all races and cultures to be represented in K through 12 education, how inclusive history helps students better understand the world around them, and why hearing every voice strengthens our nation rather than divide it. I will answer the question, critical race theory. Should states restrict discussions of race in classrooms? My answer is no. States should not restrict discussions of race in classrooms because students need a complete education that prepares them for the world we live and work in. I have two reasons for my positions. First, restricting discussions of one race gives students incomplete education that leaves them unprepared for a diverse society. Second, teaching the history and contribution of all racial and ethnic groups leads to better educational outcomes and prepares students for the future success. My first reason is that restricting discussions of race in the classroom gives students an incomplete education that leaves them unprepared for the real world. When schools avoid teaching about the experiences of different racial and ethnic groups, students receive an incomplete understanding of American history and the society they are preparing to enter as adults. According to K through 12 Dive, April 2023, 70% of anti-CRT proposals introduced in 2021 and 2022 sought to regulate classroom instruction, while 75% targeted curriculum materials, showing that many states are actively restricting what students can learn about race and history. The United States Government Accountability Office reported in June 2022 that more than 18.5 million students attended schools where at least 75% of students were from a single racial or ethnic group, meaning that the classroom may be one of the few places where students can learn about people whose experiences differ from their own. One real-world example that shows why these discussions matter is the history of Native American boarding schools. Beginning in the late 19th century, Thousands of Native American children were taken from their families and placed in government-run boarding schools, designed to erase their language, their culture, and their traditions. Many children experienced abuse, isolation, and the loss of family connection, while some never returned home to their communities. Learning about these events helps students understand how government policies affect real people and why the effects of these policies can still be felt in Native communities today. Now that we have seen how restricting discussions of race can leave students with an incomplete understanding of history, let's examine how teaching the history of all racial and ethnic groups benefits students, society as a whole. My second reason is that teaching the history and the contribution of racial and ethnic groups leads to better educational outcomes and better prepare students for life after graduation. Students are often more engaged in school when they see themselves, their families, and their communities represented in what they are learning. According to the National Council of Teachers of English, ethnic study programs have been linked to higher academic achievement, improved self-esteem, lower dropout rates, a greater student engagement among students from a variety of backgrounds. A 2020 report from the Teachers, Columbia University, and the Century Foundation found that 96% of major employers believe it is important for employees to be comfortable working with people from different cultural backgrounds, showing that understanding diversity is an important workplace skill. If schools fail to teach students about different cultures, histories, and perspectives, graduates may enter college, the workforce, without the knowledge, communication skills needed to succeed in an increasingly diverse society. Today, I answered the question, critical race theory. Should states restrict discussions of race in the classroom? My answer is no. States should not restrict discussions of race in the classroom. I gave you two reasons to support my position. First, restricting discussions of race gives students an incomplete education that leaves them unprepared for the real world. Second, teaching the history and contributions of all racial and ethnic groups improves educational outcomes, helps students prepare for the future success. In closing, I want to leave you with this thought. We cannot learn from history if we only learn part of it. Personally, I do not believe schools should tell students what to think. I believe schools should provide students with facts, allow them to form their own opinions, but that is only possible when students are given access to the full story. Not just the comfortable parts, but the difficult parts as well. America's story is not the story of one group of people. It is the story of many. It is the story of innovators, workers, activists, immigrants, soldiers, and everyday people from every background who helped shape this nation. When we teach history honestly and completely, we are not dividing students. We are giving them the knowledge they need to better understand one another and the world around them. Every student deserves an education that prepares them not only to pass a test, but to live, work, and succeed in a diverse society. Because when every voice is heard, every contribution is recognized, and every story is told, we all gain a deeper understanding of what truly means to be an American. Thank you.